You ever wanted to take all your waifus with you wherever you go? Well, with portable PCs, like the Steam Deck, you no longer have to be that guy. So today I've got 10 waifu-packed RPGs that are perfect for the Steam Deck. It's a mix of blockbuster hits and hidden gems, all Steam Deck verified. So you know you'll get the best cheeky goodness wherever you go. Links to all of my full reviews just below the like button. So charge that battery and let's get to it.
Are you alright?
Starting off strong with a game that practically melted the internet when it dropped and was my game of 2024. When Stellar Blade released, it instantly lit up the gaming world with its incredible visuals, razor-sharp combat, and of course, its now iconic lead, Eve. And while IGN struggled to give it their most boring score of 7, everyone else knew Stellar Blade was a freaking masterpiece. Yeah, and it's only gotten better over time. Originally a PS5 exclusive, the game recently made its way to PC, and yes, it's officially Steam Deck verified, playing like a dream. Developed by Shift Up, a South Korean studio founded by Destiny Child and Nikke creator Kim Hyung-tae, the game is pure eye candy, but it's not just the visuals that hooked so many. Blending stylish spectacle, deep, reactive combat, and a fascinating world, Stellar Blade feels like Nier Automata meets Sekiro, sounding like a perfect mix to me. You've got weighty parries, fluid dodging, and beefy combos that feel amazing, all set in a world that consistently drives you to explore every nook and cranny. Now, Shift Up didn't just drop an incredible game and call it a day. They've been busy improving the game with things like New Game Plus, a feature that'll never turn down, tons of new outfits, improved physics, and more. Oh, and they dropped some banging crossovers with Nier Automata and Nikke. So yeah, the game was awesome at launch, is even better now, and with the confirmed sequel on the horizon, there's never been a better time to jump in for the first time, or jump back in again. And now being able to take this incredible experience anywhere is absolutely stellar. Next up is one of the most stylish and content-rich RPGs you can play on Steam Deck, with Persona 5 Royal. Persona is a spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei, a series of turn-based RPGs with social sim elements that started all the way back in the 80s on the Famicom. Now, Persona 5 is no doubt the series' biggest release to date, spawning its own spin-offs and a definitive edition. Originally released in 2019, Royal came to PC in October 2022, and it's fully Steam Deck verified. This version includes all the DLC, a brand new semester of story content, a new party member, and additional endings, making it the definitive way to experience this modern classic. In Persona 5 Royal, you play as a high school student who secretly leads a group of phantom thieves who explore the minds of corrupt adults to try changing their twisted hearts. Gameplay alternates between dungeon crawling, turn-based battles, and managing your daily life around school, part-time jobs, and building relationships. And those relationships are a big part of what makes this game so special. There's a wide selection of characters for romance or friendship, each with their own story arcs, personalities, and emotional depth. Visually, there's nothing else like Persona 5. It's just so bold, confident, and dripping with style in every frame. And that's complemented by the top-tier music and engaging storytelling, all of which looks and plays beautifully on the Steam Deck. Load times are quick, battery life is surprisingly solid for a game this large, and the crisp, anime-inspired visuals look fantastic on the handheld screen, which is a must considering you're in for well over 100 hours of gameplay. If you're looking for a game that combines deep mechanics, great writing, and some of the most stylish visuals in gaming, Persona 5 Royal is easily one of the best experiences you can have on the Steam Deck.
Alright, time for some pain! Slam!
The Phantom Thieves will yield to no one, no matter who they are.
Okay, the Tales series is one of those long-running RPG franchises that can be intimidating to jump into for the first time. But if you're down for an awesome, fast-paced action RPG with anime flair and plenty of waifu energy, Tales of Arise is not only a great place to jump in, but one of the very best picks on Steam Deck. Developed by Bandai Namco and released in 2021, Tales of Arise marks a major evolution for the series, with a striking painterly art style and fun-as-hell combat, thanks to the series' first use of Unreal Engine. Compared to earlier Tales of games with their charming but clearly low-budget visuals, Arise introduces more detailed character models, dynamic lighting, flashy effects, and cinematic camera work that pushes the presentation into AAA territory for the first time. The story follows two protagonists from opposing worlds, Alphen, a masked swordsman who can't feel pain, and Shion, a sharpshooting noblewoman who hurts anyone she touches. I wonder if those ironic differences will play a part in the story. As with most Tales of games, you'll recruit a full party of characters over time. While romance isn't the focus, the game leans into emotional connections, expressive characters, and tons of detailed outfit designs. On the gameplay side, Tales of Arise is an absolute blast. You can switch characters mid-battle, string together flashy combos, and trigger powerful cinematic finishers called boost strikes. It's smooth, fast, and feels awesome with the Steam Deck's controls. Performance is rock solid with no major tweaking required, and it's surprisingly well optimized for the handheld. Whether you're a longtime fan of the series, or
are you a virgin?
There's nothing quite like taking this grand adventure with you when you're out on your grand adventures.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
If you like your RPGs with a strong single lead, magical crafting systems, and a good dose of charm, Witchspring R is a must-play, especially on Steam Deck. Released in September 2023, Witchspring R is a complete 3D remake of the original mobile title from Korean indie developer KiwiWalks. It reimagines the story of Pieberry, a reclusive witch living in a forest who just wants to be left alone to practice magic, collect ingredients, and maybe conquer the world. You know, the huge. This is a turn-based RPG with an emphasis on training, alchemy, and exploration. You don't just level up through combat. Instead, you train Pieberry through daily routines like studying spells, working on her physical fitness, or crafting potions and magical gear. There's a ton of customization, and how you spend your time directly affects Pieberry's stats and abilities. The turn-based combat is a ton of fun, and the new beautifully animated 3D models with surprisingly flashy effects look amazing, especially for an indie game. You can summon beasts, chain spells, and prepare for big encounters by planning your training schedule ahead of time. There's also a pet raising system, optional side content, and multiple endings depending on your choices. On Steam Deck, the game runs smoothly, looks crisp, and its relatively small install size and short session structure make it an ideal game on the go. This is likely a game that's flown under your radar, but if the overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam are anything to go by, you know you're in for a treat no matter where you're playing. Oh man, I freaking love this next game. I mean, it's got futuristic sci-punk anime aesthetics, a mind-bending story, and some of the best action combat in any RPG, period. And if that sounds like your thing too, then Scarlet Nexus should be on your Steam Deck right now. Released in June 2021 by Bandai Namco, Scarlet Nexus is a stylish game set in a world where humans have developed psychic abilities. You play as one of two protagonists, Yuito, a disciplined soldier from a political family, or Kasane, a cold and calculating elite operative with mysterious ties to the central mystery. The dual story setup means you're essentially getting two full campaigns in one. Each character has unique perspectives, squad mates, and cutscenes, and you'll need to play both paths to fully understand the story. You'll spend most of your time in fast-paced, real-time combat using psychokinesis to hurl objects at enemies, extend your combos with melee attacks, and borrow powers from your teammates. Each party member brings something different to the table, like teleportation, elemental buffs, or slowing down time. And you can switch between them on the fly to build devastating attack chains. There's no other combat system like this, and it's just so badass. The bond system lets you deepen relationships with your squad, unlock special abilities, and view character-specific cutscenes. Perfect if you like to build connections in your combat-driven RPGs. Okay, so with all the flash and spectacle, how does it actually run on the Steam Deck? Well, just about perfect. Rocking a buttery 60 frames per second with default settings, and the visuals still look amazing even on the smaller screen. I highly recommend you play Scarlet Nexus for its uniquely stylish blend of telekinetic combat, dual protagonist storytelling, and a cast of memorable characters wrapped in a futuristic world. But also, I really want a sequel, so give it a go to let Bandai Namco know there's still life in the franchise. Why don't they make games like they used to? Well, Trials of Mana is a remake of a 30-year-old game. So if you're looking for something colorful, nostalgic, and packed with character variety, you can't go wrong, and it runs like a dream on Steam Deck. Originally released back in 1995 as Seiken Densetsu 3 in Japan, Trials of Mana didn't get an official English release until decades later. The full 3D remake I'm talking about here dropped in April 2020, developed by Square Enix, and it's a faithful yet modernized version of the original, rebuilt from the ground up for a new generation. This is such an underrated gem that not nearly enough people have played, including JRPG fans. It's a party-based action RPG where you choose 3 characters out of a 6-character roster, each with their own storylines, abilities, and personality. That means replay value is baked in from the beginning. And yes, several of those characters are absolutely waifu material. Gameplay focuses on real-time combat with light platforming and exploration. As your characters level up, you can evolve their classes into different forms, each with unique visual changes, new abilities, and slightly more eye-catching costumes. The combat is great, super responsive, giving you full control over movement, dodging, and swapping between your party members.
Yay! How is that?
Each one has unique abilities, combos, and special moves that can be chained together, even between characters. The game's visual redesign, flashy combat, and expressive character animations help it stand out even today. It runs and looks flawless on Steam Deck, with little to no tweaking required. Now, there was a sequel that released in 2024 called Visions of Mana, and while I think both are solid, Trials of Mana is no doubt my favorite of the two. Though I've reviewed both games after completing them to 100%, so give those videos a look.
This is how it is done in the real land!
The Disgaea series has some of the most dedicated fans out there, and if you like your waifus with big swords, bigger stats, and a sense of humor that continually breaks, but haven't yet played Disgaea, then boy do I have a treat for you. The latest entry, Disgaea 7 Vows of the Virtuless, was released in the West in October 2023 and continues the long-running series tradition of cheeky humor, deep mechanics, and ridiculously high numbers. I'm talking level 9,999 characters, millions of damage per hit, and the ability to throw your teammates, literally across the battlefield. Yeah, it rules. This time around, the game is set in the Hinomoto Netherworld Cluster, a Japanese-themed underworld where Bushido has been forgotten and evil reigns. You play as Fuji, a demon ronin with no loyalty to anything but the next paycheck, and Pirilika, who's both adorable and wildly obsessive about samurai culture. She's equal parts cute, clueless, and surprisingly powerful. She's the heart of much of the game's comedy and charm, and her interactions with the rest of the cast add a lot of personality to the story. In addition to the series' tradition of deep tactical RPG mechanics built around grid-based battles, party customization, and insane character progression, this entry introduces a new mechanic called jumpification, which lets units grow kaiju-sized mid-battle, turning maps into monster wrestling arenas. It also includes auto-battling, online ranked fights, and a refined class system with tons of room to experiment. And despite all its depth, it's fully Steam verified. The visuals look clean and vibrant on the handheld screen, load times are fast, and the game's menu-heavy structure works especially well with the Steam Deck's controls. Plus, you can quick save and suspend the game at any time, perfect for short bursts or long grinds. Disgaea 7 is a perfect addition to your Steam Deck library for fans of tactical depth, over-the-top systems, and a charming cast full of waifus and weirdos. Few games wear the label of cult classic as well as Resonance of Fate, also known in Japan as End of Eternity. Originally released all the way back in 2010 on PS3 and Xbox 360, the 4K HD edition released on PC in October 2018, bringing this underrated gem back with sharper visuals and a second chance to confuse and impress a whole new generation. Developed by Tri-Ace, the team behind Star Ocean and Valkyrie Profile, Resonance of Fate ditches traditional fantasy for a gritty steam-powered dystopia, and replaces standard RPG combat with an acrobatic gun-fu ballet of mechanics that's as complex as it is stylish. The game follows a trio of mercenaries, Zephyr, Vacheron, and Leanne, as they take odd jobs and uncover a story centered around fate, religion, and survival within a massive mechanical tower. And yes, there are outfits, lots of them. Combat is where the game truly shines. This is a turn-based strategy RPG that uses a unique system called the Tri-Attack Battle System, which feels like a mix of tactics and real-time action. Your characters dash, flip, and dive through the air in slow motion while firing dual pistols, shotguns, and machine guns. The gun-fu reminds me of that Christian Bale movie, Equilibrium. Anyone? Anyone? The learning curve is pretty steep, but once it clicks, it's incredibly satisfying and completely unlike anything else. Now, the 4K HD edition is technically a remaster of the original game that runs great on Steam Deck, especially with a few minor tweaks. If you're looking for something different, something stylish, experimental, and packed with hidden depth, Resonance of Fate is a one-of-a-kind RPG experience, and on Steam Deck, it's finally portable. If you ever wanted a dating sim, an anime action game, and an end-of-the-world love story all rolled into one, Eternights is exactly what you're looking for. It's emotional, romantic, stylish, and full of fanservice, making it a perfect fit for this list. Developed by indie studio Studio Sai, Eternights launched in September 2023, and it's one of the most unique blends of genres in recent memory. Part real-time action RPG, part romance-filled visual novel, it wears its anime influences proudly, along with a cast of extremely expressive, highly waifuable heroines. And while the Persona influences are clear, this game still feels distinct. Set during a mysterious apocalypse, you play as a young man who loses his arm and gains supernatural powers, then finds himself teaming up with a group of other survivors, and maybe finding love along the way. Each teammate has their own personality and backstory, ranging from the shy and bookish Yuna, to the tough, no-nonsense fighter Sia, to the energetic wildcard Min. Dialogue choices matter here, and developing your bonds not only affects the story, but also unlocks powerful abilities and combat perks in battle. Unlike Persona, the combat here is all about fast-paced, real-time action, with a heavy focus on timing, dodging, and countering. It's not super deep, but it's responsive and satisfying, especially when paired with your growing relationship skills. And in terms of presentation, this game is downright gorgeous. There's plenty of expressive character animations, optional romantic scenes, and even fully animated scenes for the big moments. Best of all, Eternights is Steam Deck verified. It runs smoothly right out of the box with no tweaking necessary. Eternights is truly special. It's a heartfelt, romantic, stylish hidden gem that belongs on every RPG lover's Steam Deck. To wrap up this list, I don't just have one game, I've got a whole trilogy for you. The Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth series is a waifu-filled love letter to gaming culture, fanservice, and JRPG insanity. And thanks to Steam Deck, it's never been easier to bring these goddesses with you. Originally reimagined from the PS3 titles, Rebirth 1, 2, and 3 are enhanced ports released on PC starting in 2015. They updated the visuals, tweaked the battle system, and threw in a ton of bonus content, including new characters, endings, and mechanics. Each game features its own story, but they all center around a world called Game Industry, where console-inspired goddesses fight for control while also becoming best friends, frenemies, and sometimes roommates. You play as Neptune, a personification of a scrapped Sega console turned purple-haired, self-aware protagonist. Her dialogue breaks the fourth wall constantly, poking fun at RPG cliches, the game industry, and even you. Alongside her are fellow CPUs, like Noir, Blanc, and Vert, each representing other consoles and each with their own loyal fanbase. Gameplay is turn-based with action elements, including positional tactics, combo customization, and flashy transformations. Battles are light and fast, and the visual novel-style storytelling fills in the rest with humor, heart, and no shortage of cheeky innuendo. These games are unapologetically fanservice forward, with character designs, dialogue, and animations designed for waifu enthusiasts first, and everyone else second. So the Steam Deck aspect is a little funky with the series. Rebirth 1 and 2 are Steam Deck verified, running perfectly with great battery life and crisp visuals that scale nicely on the Steam Deck screen. Rebirth 3 is Steam Deck playable. It works, but may require tweaking things like the launch settings, text scaling, or manual control configuration. Still very much doable, and worth it if you've made it through the first two. Seriously, if you dig the genre but haven't played these games, you need to stop what you're doing and get the Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth trilogy right now. And there you have it, 10 waifu-packed RPGs that feel right at home on Steam Deck. What's your favorite game to play on the go, and what should I cover next? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit like and of course subscribe. And if you want a list of must-play PS3 games loaded with fan service, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.